Kiddo watches the city burn. She stands on an overpass far across the river, looking on as gap-toothed buildings cough up gray plumes against the starry night. A breeze off the water catches the smoke, spreads it thin across the sky like the screaming faces of ghosts. The southern end of the island city glows, a heartbeat of golden light. Nothing, not even the passage of time, can douse the embers. But even the fire doesn't stop the children from coming. From every coast and every prairie, they arrive on Kiddo's doorstep in malnourished trickles and droves, eyes cast across the river to the place they believe will be their salvation. They come because they've heard the rumors about the concrete city. They come because they've heard the rumors about the Saver and his promise of plenty, his promise of a home. But Kiddo doesn't believe him. "Kiddo!" Princess calls from below. One end of the overpass is collapsed into the woods, the other end spanning a swath of disused highway that leads to the bridge. Princess stands on the highway, tangled blonde curls lifting in the wind. In the dark, Kiddo can just barely make out the moon of her face, the starlight shimmer of her eyes, the way her small hands clutch before her heart as if in furtive prayer. At times, Kiddo thinks the younger girl must be some strange celestial being, an angel or a fairy, not really her foundling little sister at all. "Kid, come down now," she half asks, half orders. She's only 13, maybe 14 years old, but her mothering instinct has far surpassed Kiddo's already. "The Saver is coming for them. Don't you want to say goodbye?" Her eyes glimmer like a beacon among the shadows, somehow brighter than all the burning light of the concrete city. Kiddo hesitates, touching the cool metal guardrail that prevents her from falling through the night sky to the pavement below. Her stomach tightens, but she nods and begins the steep descent, taking long, slow strides toward the collapsed end of the overpass, into the woods. Princess follows below, meets her at the bottom among the rubble where she smiles and takes Kiddo's arm. "Do you think the Saver will have more stories tonight?" "Maybe," Kiddo says as they follow the familiar path back into the wilderness. He is full of stories. Everyone remembers a few details about before. Snapshots of Christmas mornings and days at the beach, a first pet, the colors of their father's beard. They remember small things, precious things, but not everything. They might remember their parents' faces, their voices, their smiles, but never all of those things. Kiddo, like many of the children who survived, doesn't even remember her own name. The Saver claims to have a perfect memory of before. Almost perfect, anyway. Not a single survivor among them claims to remember what happened that officially marked the end. All they really know is that something terrible happened. Those who survived it woke up, and everyone else was gone. Kiddo and Princess pass between the trees, across the path to the footbridge over the river, into more forest. By the time they arrive at the campfire, the Saver and his followers are already there, trying to convince the rescues to say a prayer with him before their meal. The Saver always brings a meal with him. Food is one of the many promises that await the newcomers when they join him in the concrete city. "Kid!" The Saver greets her with a nod, taking in her wild appearance, weapon-clad and barefoot, hair half done up in knots to keep it away from her face. The Saver's eyes linger on the hunting knife in the sheath strapped to her thigh, blade shining near the hilt when it catches the firelight. It's the only thing about her that gleams, besides the fire flickering behind her eyes. Kiddo crosses her arms over her chest and cocks her head, deflecting his scrutiny as his eyes rise to hers.